beginning, but she was only one season. It was like
seven? And then no one was really close with her on the set. They're just like, he just left. They're like,
they didn't give her the time. That was Jason Alexander just talked about it.
Yeah.
So we were not nice to her. We did not treat her well because she was not a hero. She was a villain in everybody's eyes.
Yep.
But I can't believe it. Like, she had a lot of impact, man. Because you can't think of Seinfeld without thinking of George's marriage to Susan.
Yeah.
Or engagement to Susan.
Engagement, yeah.
Just the postponement scene when he has that freak out of postponing.
Yeah.
That's the second episode of that season, man.
Yeah, when he cried.
Yeah.
He's let it all out.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It feels like it was just like a month between when he gets engaged. Not a month, like 20 episodes between the engagement and when he needs to postpone it. And it was literally one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, Susan. Oh, Susan.
Susan.
Hey, have you ever taken...
I love when you ask me questions.
This is a good one.
I love it, yeah.
But that's kind of how the show goes. We banter for a little while. You got some stuff, I got some stuff. And then I have like a hard-hitting personal question that makes you take stock of who you... No, it's never like that. It's never like... It's all fluff.
Yeah, it's like, what's your favorite book?
It's all fluff. There any good books lately? Backside Attack?
Okay,
Do you like James Bond? Have you ever taken yourself... I guess we already kind of talked about it. Have you ever taken yourself too seriously to where you became a cartoon of yourself? I was thinking about this a little while ago. Have you ever? Is there a part of your personality maybe that? And this is something that I was wondering because I was kind of pointing it out in someone else. And I thought about myself. I was doing a lot of introspective thought, and I thought I will ask you this question: have you ever taken yourself maybe too seriously? Like, when is a time that you took a step back where you saw it, where you're like, you know what, this shit's got to stop?
Yeah. There's been moments where you're like, no matter how much you do, like how much you're doing it or how little you're doing it, where you're putting yourself out there, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
And you're making I guess you're making a spectacle out of yourself, basically, right?
Yes.
Whether like grandstanding, talking loud, or like being the center of attention, or whatever it is. Yeah, I've had those moments where I was like, people, because I don't really talk that much with my friends. Like I'm more of
You're a listener?
quiet person.
Yeah.
But
you're the creepy one in the group.
yeah, guess so.
The fly in the wall.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've had instances where like I've craved the attention because I wasn't getting it at home.
It just got
That's
sad.
why I crave it so much now. But no, because I remember like especially in
Did you ever call the kids' help phone?
Huh?
No, I'm like, did you ever call the kids' help phone?
No.
I wasn't getting the attention at home, Mom, so I had to rob a liquor store.
I've done that once. Like
robbed a liquor store?
No,
Acted out because you weren't getting the attention at home.
Yeah, I did act out, and I actually wrote. I remember I went.
This is gonna be good.
I didn't get the. I didn't get my Christmas present I wanted.
Bone Storm?
No, yeah, Bone Storm. Yeah, mine was the actual model of Airwolf.
Oh, get out of town!
Yeah, so I really wanted that, and then my mom. Remember Consumers Digest? Remember that
Consumers Distributing.
Yeah, she
can't touch the toys.
She said she was gonna stop by there, but she didn't stop by there. And then I was acting like a brat. And then what I did is that I just wrote it on our back deck. I took a Sharpie, a big thick thing, and I told her, I said, I wrote this on here because you did not get me the Airwolf toy.
Wow!
Yeah, and then
did she tan your hide, so to speak? Because
no, she just I said I wrote this, and then I my mom saw it, and I'm like, and then the next day I was like, I felt so bad. I'm like, why did I put it on there? And then my mom saw it, and she said, did you write that? And I said, yeah.
Well, clearly you did.
I said, yeah, I wrote that. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't even want the toy anymore.
Oh, that's very That's a very like what's the word I'm looking for? Not heartfelt, but you really felt it. Like you really felt like a dick.
Yeah, I felt. I was like, I just because I thought to myself, that was one of those moments where you just like
sobering.
It's sobering because you take a look. It's like, how are you coming off?
Yeah.
And then so then I saw about that. I'm like, my mom probably thinks I'm an idiot. And then so I just said, I told her, I'm like, I wrote that because I am so sorry. I'm like, I didn't even want I said, I don't even want it anymore. I said to her, like, I don't even want a Christmas present.
How old were you this time?
Maybe like
11? 12?
No, maybe 9.
9? Yeah, because Airwolf was like, mid to late 80s.
Yeah, so I was about 9, and then I said, I don't even want it anymore. And and so then the next day she actually brought it for me.
I think she recognized.
Yeah, and I gave it to my brother, and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, give it to him.
Well, it was stained now.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't deserve this.
Yeah, it was stained with your insolence.
Yeah, so then he gave me Ultra Magnus.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And you know what? I bet you that Ultra Magnus like holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah,
because like you really like you recognize at a young age, like that's pretty young to recognize it, like, oh, that was a dick move, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a dick move.
Yeah, there's also like I think everyone has those moments where like you're people put themselves in positions where like they feel like they have to their voice has to be heard.
Yeah.
Or they're not getting the attention they receive, so they'll blurt something out like and what has nothing to do with the conversation, but they just want to be noticed.
Yeah.
And then you stand on a table basically, and your voice, you're just saying all this stuff just for the sake of getting attention.
Yeah.
But you don't know how bad you're coming across, and so that's one thing I haven't done that, but at the same time, it's like I just want to make sure that I don't want to come off as someone who craves attention or comes off as like some guys like oh god,
like the life of the party.
The life of the party.
Well, the idea is that you don't want to be the Homer Simpson flying the ice cube dream.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's right. Yeah. That's really what it is, right? Yeah. Homer is like, I put a fly in your ice cube. Mm-hmm. I put it there. When you weren't looking. Quite hilarious.
He has a little
the monocle. And the top hat. He's like a New Yorker cartoon, right? Like you don't want to be that guy.
No, it actually like I get shivers thinking about it.
Oh yeah, like I mean the meme. Like I think we were talking about the whole idea with the today a buddy of ours from online. He's a buddy of ours in real life too, but he's a meme share online. Mm-hmm. But he had that meme where it's like this is a photo of that guy from that show you like saying a made up line that you're gonna post on your timeline and make your friends roll their eyes at you again.
Yeah,
it's like nobody wants to be a cartoon. Nobody wants to be the guy who everybody's like, oh, fucking go again. But sometimes like you become that guy.
Yeah, you do because it's sometimes it's a coping mechanism because you're just like you don't know, you're like something's missing in your life and you don't know how to like act appropriately in a social situation.
Not me at Backside Attack. I'm a complete and whole person. I'm fully formed. I'm absolutely okay.
Yeah, you're very wholesome.
I'm very wholesome.
Yeah. You're like a granola bar.
I like to think that I'm granola bar-ish.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can absolutely tell. There were times for sure, in places I worked, definitely, where I felt like I had to be everything to everybody. Mm-hmm. Like everybody had an idea of who I was. I was the supervisor for some people. I was the best friend to other people. I was the comic relief for some people. Mm-hmm. And it gets fucking tiring, man. It's like it is one of those things where it's like I can't keep this.
No, it's because what you do is you start to develop like certain identities, and you don't know how to keep track of it.
In those environments, I'm definitely a people pleaser.
Well, see, that's the thing. Depending upon the environment, that's totally true.
Yeah, and it's tiring.
Yeah, that happens because like you have to, and then you have to create a balancing act. Like okay, I'm professional with this person, but I'm friends with this person. Then and you're all in the same. You're in the same environment. So like you're like, how do I balance all of this?
Well, it's tough, right? Especially like if you're, and I know you've been there too, in workplaces where you have to be, in a sense, you've got to kind of like daddy everybody because you've got to be the guy who can lay down the law. Mm-hmm. You've got to keep your troops safe, or you've got to keep them at least like keep the job safe.
Yeah.
And then you've got to be friends with certain people, but then you have to like yell at certain people who then may become your friends, and now it's hard to discipline them when they're acting out or doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. And
then you end up in this weird place. You're like, oh, no, I get it. I get why the people always tell you, the bosses always tell you, like be stern, don't be their friend. You're their parent, not their friend. Like it makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think one thing that really helped me was that still like really because sometimes you'll catch yourself doing it and you won't even realize it. Mm-hmm. I think one thing that really helped me was that was the fact of like, you know what, just get over yourself.
Yo, that's a big one.
Yeah, just get over yourself. You're not like you don't have to be everyone's hero or someone that everyone has to listen to at a party or be the straw that stirs the drink. You don't have to be that person.
No.
Yeah. So like that's one thing I'd really learned is like just get over yourself.
I do think there are people who do that naturally though. Like there are people out there who are like the Seinfeld of their group without realizing it. Mm-hmm. Like they end up being the person who everybody else is friends with, or in, like you say, the straw that stirs the drink, but they're not trying to be.
No,
it's a natural
yeah. Some people,
easy talent.
yeah. Some people can. Like, I think people like some people have that. Some people are doing that regardless, like if whether they know it or not. But if
They're not trying to do
they're not trying to do it. But if it comes off as like organic, but like, but if that is their natural tendency, it doesn't come off like they're trying to do it. Like they're just like, yeah, man, like that person's such a great people person because like, they can people are automatically attracted to that person because they have their social skills are developed.
Nobody's rolling their eyes at them.
No.
Yeah, and at the same time, they also don't. I think that person,
people at this age are not dumb. They can sense it when you're trying a little bit too hard.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, oh god, they totally do.
Yeah, I know people like that.
I've known people on the flip side of that. I've known people who, oh man, and this is so. Don't take it personally, people out there. But I've known people who I don't respect or trust. Probably more trust. That I don't trust at all, and maybe to an extent also don't fully respect. But man, do I like hanging out with them. Mm-hmm. Like that's a weird paradox for me. Because like for me, I'm like, man, like I don't want to be like them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have their lifestyle. I don't like their personal, like their ethics, their morals are messed up. Mm-hmm. But they've never done it with me, and I don't mind hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Like I know a few people like that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, they're gross. Mm-hmm. You're so slimy. You're the worst.
Yeah.
But I don't mind hanging out with you.
Exactly.
Like I can spend time with you. Yeah. It doesn't kill me to hang out with you. And when you make a phone call and you call me up and say, hey, bar tonight, or hey, let's go here, come on over, I'm like, yeah, man. But at no point ever would I want to be that person.
Yeah, it's a lot of like it's a lot of emotional baggage, I think. When you're like that because you feel like you have to perform every night.
It is. They're the fun Bobby.
Yeah.
Like I was never like a big believer in that character, but like that they're the fun Bobby.
Yeah.
Like they're out there having a great time. They take a real deep dive into who they are and like, you're so gross. You gross me out.
Yeah.
I would never want to be you. Like, I don't know how the people who live with you cope with you.
Yeah.
But
it's hanging out with you. Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. Some people are they thrive in that environment, but I just feel like that way of if you do it too much, if you're constantly looking to be like the outspoken person in your and even if you need that in your life, it's at some point, depending on how often you do it, it just becomes like completely unsustainable.
It is unsustainable. It's unsustainable. It's like super off-putting. Yeah. It's a weird one. It's a super paradox.
Yeah.
It's not just like paradoxical. We're like that's quirky. How could you hang out with them if you don't like them? Mm-hmm. That's weird. That's strange to me. How could you? It's not just that. It's like how could you possibly do it if you're that put off by this person? It's like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, he's coming. Oh
god.
Okay,
everybody just let's all go get a massage first.
Yeah.
So
I know. I got plans.
I got plans.
I can't make it.
I got plans, pal. Man, yeah, there's some people who are like that. I used to work with a dude who was like that. Who when you work with him, he didn't mind it. Like we knew who he was. Mm-hmm. We knew everything about him. He's a man. Well, he wasn't a manager. He was like a supervisor, of a place, a certain place. You can hang out with a dude. It was fine as long as you knew what you were dealing with and the people around you knew who you're dealing with. Mm. If new people came to hang out with you, you'd have to kind of like warn them. Like, look, he's abrasive. He's off-putting. He's a moron.
Yeah.
But he's our moron, so we deal with him.
Yeah.
We would go out and eat in places and restaurants, and he would talk to the service staff a certain way in places that we were familiar, but the service staff knew us really well, and we would let them know in the conversation while he was being a dick. Hey Alice, when you're bringing us our food, make sure only to spit in his plate, okay?
Yeah.
And he'd look at you like he's totally clueless. He had no idea what was going on. He's oblivious. Why would they spit in my plate? I just want things done exactly how I want it done. If my bacon isn't both crispy and soft, I'm going to be friggin' pissed. Like, okay, just his food gets spat in, right? Mm-hmm. Cool, right on.
Yeah.
And his food always came out crappy.
Yeah. I would say that I know people like that, but like no one is perfect. So I'm not sure if sometimes I come across like that. I'm not sure if I do.
That's just it, right? It's a tough one. That's why you kind of have to like take a second and realize.
Yeah, you have to like if like you have to be. It's good to be conscious about that kind of stuff because if you're not, you know who you're going to turn off or how you're going to come across. It's I think that's kind of important about like if you're going to be in a social situation, like it's one thing not to care, but at the same time, it's like, man, you do not come across well that like tonight. If someone doesn't like snatch you by the collar and pull you aside and tell you like like buddy, that was not cool.
Not cool, man.
Yeah,
not cool.
Like I've never put myself in that position where it's like someone has to pull me aside and be like, man, you're being a dick or whatever like that, right? If I am doing that, I tell the person who's trying to pull me aside and be like, yeah, I am, but I'm trying to be a dick.
I'm deliberately being a dick.
Exactly. You didn't interrupt me.
Now I have done that.
I've done that so many times.
I was
not so many times, but like I've done that.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Because you were there. There's a friend of the show, and we were out, and he kind of pre-warned me that another guy who was there is a complete asshole. Mm-hmm. That guy's demeaning to me. He's shitty to me. He's never nice to me. Mm-hmm. I friggin' hate that guy.
Yeah.
And then immediately I noticed the guy's also trying to be the life of the party. Mm-hmm. So a friend is telling me that person A who came in with person B, who I think I know, but person A is a dick to my friend all the time. And I went like full RoboCop. For like, I zoned in on him. The targeting system happened. My objectives were destroy this guy tonight.
Yeah.
Destroy this guy. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, person B comes up and he's like, hey, I kind of know you, right? I'm like, yeah, I know you. He's like, hey, how are things? I'm like, pretty good. And then person A starts talking to me. I'm like, you're just, like, I didn't give him the time of day. Mm-hmm. I was mean. I was rude. I was snarky. I was quirky. I was taking shots at this guy. Mm-hmm. I was making his friends laugh at him. And it was just mean. Like, it was all mean-spirited.
Yeah.
To another friend was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You are being really rude. I had to let him know why I was being really rude.
Yeah.
And then we were both really rude.
Yeah.
And I made his friends laugh at him. And afterwards, I felt awful. Mm-hmm. I still think about that. I'm like, oh my God. If lucky we were in a room with people who knew us, who all kind of were in on it, except for like this one guy and a couple of his friends. But man, I still like feel I still see his friends, person A's friends. I see them every now and then. And I try to be so nice to him. Like I go out of my way to be really, really polite.
Yeah.
Because I feel so bad about what I did.
Yeah, I didn't. I think that. I remember like feeling remorse after I did one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
Where you were deliberately being rude to somebody.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that's just. I'm like, whoa. And then I'm pretty sure I apologized. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, like we've all been dicks in some form or fashion, but. I didn't want to, but
totally.
But there's been instances where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I have to like let that person. I have to let it be known what this to this person what I actually think of them. So it sets a precedent where like, you know what? This is where a relationship starts. Yeah. This is where it ends, and like this is how I look at it. Don't try to like don't try to create something out of nothing because you're not getting anything from me. So don't waste your time.
Well, well that seems more the way you're describing that seems more noble to me. Because, like, for whatever reason, you've decided this person's character is not the best, and you were letting them know ahead of time, without going out of your way to be a dick, without making their friends laugh at them. Yeah, it's like you're stopping a potential relationship before it even starts, so they know where you stand.
Yeah. So, but same time, I'll try to I'll insert a joke in there. Mm-hmm. Like about but like not in the sense of like it'll like a joke waiting for like a punchline, but the delivery is about like when I'm saying it, it will incite laughter.
It's a Winston Churchill joke.
Yeah, so like they'll be like, okay, they're like, okay, that was like Raj. That's typical Raj. Like he's just saying what's on his mind, and like he lets that person know that you mean nothing to them. You mean nothing to him.
You're dead to me.
So like don't try to start anything with him, like because it's like he's not gonna care.
Yeah.
So that's happened, and and I think I told you about it, but I just said, you know what, there was no other way for me to say it, so I just had to put it in context where like how I like to do it, and so it did elicit like a lot of laughter, but then everyone's like, then I think that person's other friend, like co-friend, was like, don't take it personally. That's just the way he is. And don't bother.
Don't bother trying to become friendly.
Don't bother trying to become friendly because you're not going to get anything back in return.
Yeah, he's already like I know this. I know what's happening here.
Yeah,
I recognize that he has already realized that you guys aren't going to be chummy.
Yeah,
for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So just don't even try, man.
Yeah, it was a female.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough one.
So I said basically, and her boyfriend was right there, and I said it right to her face.
That's excellent.
And I knew her boyfriend too.
Did you? Okay, so let's just break this down for a second. You had a female come into your group of friends.
No,
with
she
her
had no.
boyfriend.
We've known her for we know her like she was in our group. She was in our group of friends.
Yeah.
And we knew her, but then I just as soon as I got to know her, I'm like, man, I cannot stand this person.
You and me are not going to be friends.
Yeah, I said, you know what, I gotta like, I don't want to, and the thing is, I don't want to be fake to her and be like, oh really, you ran 5 kilometers today, fantastic, right?
Training for a marathon?
Yeah, exactly. Oh really?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So what kind of shoes do you have?
I hate. I just hate those conversations.
I can't stand it
because they're fake and they're just like you have to, and then you have to search for something.
Yeah.
So like nothing's gonna come naturally where you actually care about what they want to say, or like you like it's just a waste of time. So I just said, you know what? I just cut it right there, and then I just laid it out, and I said, you know what? I basically said, I'm like, we shouldn't talk to each other anymore. I just said,
we have nothing in common.
We have nothing in common. I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just don't take that. I said, don't take it personally. I'm like, I want nothing to do with you. I'm like, that's if you talk to everybody else, that's totally cool. I'm like, I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And then and I'm like, I don't care if it's the same wave back. I'm like, that's even better. And so but she's like really like a real people person, or at least she thinks she is. And then
that's even worse.
Yeah. So then, but her eyes were like just like bug eyed out of her head, and she's like this, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. So I just walked away.
She's trying to process why somebody doesn't like her. She's oblivious to it.
But the thing is, like, no one talked to her like this before. That's the
problem.
Yeah, and I was told this, and so because she had a very alpha personality. Mm-hmm. But when the sledgehammer came down on her, she didn't know how to react. So that it took like her it took her cousin to like say like, yeah, there's no chance of you two, like, even though you think that because
you can win him over?
Yeah, because he runs and he does a lot of athletics. He goes, that's because you have that stuff in common with him. You're not going to build anything off that. No. If he doesn't want to talk to you, he's not going to talk to you.
Game over.
Yeah, that's what he told me. What he told her.
That's good.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so.
I think like sometimes people need like a hard dose of reality.
Yeah,
like you're not like whatever. But you know why? Because for her, the fact that you were like that probably just discombobulated her. Nobody talks to her like that.
No.
She has no idea why somebody would speak to her like that.
But I think more people, personally speaking, I think more people should speak to her like that.
Well, people like that. Not her specifically, but people who are like her. More people should be talking to people like that. Mm-hmm. Just set parameters. This is how people work in the real world. Not everybody's going to like you. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're abrasive. Some people will tell you. Some people will just be like, not for me, and walk away. Not everybody's going to go fall over their feet to like please you.
Yeah, like, not everyone's going to like, but what you said is absolutely correct. There's not everyone's going to like when you meet someone, you're not going to like hit it off and become best friends with everybody, right?
No, man.
Someone you're going to run into a roadblock at some point with some people. So, but yeah, it's
this is a human who wasn't socialized well.
No.
No, I mean, I don't mean that in a rude sense, like you socialize an animal, but like really, like when you're a little kid, you need to go to daycare. Or you need to go to school. Mm-hmm. You need to go to play school. You need to interact with people. You have to understand why you don't, take Timmy's toys.
Yeah.
Because Timmy might get pissed and smack you in the mouth. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have those interactions.
Yeah.
And some people don't get that, and they're always reinforced. Like, you're the best. You're the greatest. You're the most awesome kid in the world.
Yeah. And I remember that when after I said it, I sat back down, and that's when I did a kind of I was like, I thought to myself, and I said, did I take myself too seriously there?
Nah.
Then I said, wait a minute, did I? I'm like, do I have to get over myself? Like, do I have an elite kind of like personality like that? Do I think I'm too good for people? I said no. Like, do I want? Then I said to her, I'm like, do I want her in my life? Like, talking to her, and I said no. I said no, forget it. I think I did the right thing. So yeah, but no remorse. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think
it took like 30 seconds, and I was like, I just shook it off, and I was like, yeah.
No, you're in that case, it's not quite what I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, do you take yourself too seriously, or like, did you?
But the way you said it, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. I think there are some times when you kind of have to do that. I've done that a couple times where you give your head a shake. You're like, oh man, it backfired me one time. There was a fella, and I've talked about it before, where he was never the kind of person I'd hang out with. Mm-hmm. Friend of a friend that I see every now and then, like maybe like once a year.
Yeah.
Once every, like twice a year kind of a deal.
Sorry, just keep going. I'll tell you the head shake.
Yeah. So, we were kind of hanging out one night, and I decided I was not going to be like a standoffish, because this is a person who I was always kind of standoffish with, because they're not fun to hang out with. They take themselves too seriously. They think everything they own is the best. I was like, you know what? Give him a chance. Maybe he's changed. Like, he's married now. I think he had a kid or something like that. Maybe he's changed. And I decided to be nice, and it backfired because he was still a piece of shit. And it was one of those things where, like, immediately, it's like, oh man, I should have been awful. I should have been awful to this human from the start.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I gave the head a shake. I was like, was I being a dick? Yeah, you were being a dick before. There he is. You be nice. And I was nice, and it just backfired.
Yeah, this is the head shake I did.
It's the head shake you did?
Yeah. Just press play.
Oh, the
right here. But then all of a sudden,
the Street Fighter.
Yeah.
No, I am right.
Yeah.
This person is awful. I should have done the head shake. I should have done the whole where it's like, no, don't go over there and then make friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the better part of us wants to be a nice person.
Yeah.
And the better part of us wants to be, like loved, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You want the accolades. You want to be loved. You want people to like you. But then sometimes you try, and then, to somebody who it's going to backfire, and it backfires. Like, why was I being so nice?
Yeah.
God, this should have been.
I think the main thing is, like, you have to, obviously the general rule is to be nice to everybody. Like, you just have to
be a good human.
Be a good human being. So, like, when people are around, they get a good vibe from you, and they're like, yeah. But then, but that doesn't mean you have to, like, every person goes up to you that you don't have to be friends with.
No, you can be a good person and still not be friends with people who you're being good to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the thing is, like, just be honest with yourself.
Yeah, be honest with yourself.
And just be like, don't create these weak friendships that they're going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then when you talk to that person, you can't wait for the conversation to end.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst.
Here's the problem with that one too. There are friends that I've got who don't know how to end a conversation. They don't know how to read like, it's been nice talking to you. Like, you don't get it. But at the same time, they're so kind that even when they don't read the break in the conversation to end the conversation on the phone, they just start saying something else. You're like, oh, God, I'll let him keep going.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him, all week.
I know.
I got nowhere to be. There's no clock tick-tocking. Friggin'
then you look at the phone, and you look at the call time. It's like 2 hours, and you're like,
oh God.
I could have stretched in that time. I could have done so many things. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? They called you for a reason. So
they called you to reconnect.
To reconnect, vent, whatever it is. But, like, if you're that person for them,
little different than the initial question about, like, do you ever take yourself too seriously?
Yeah.
But a good segue into that. On the do you ever take yourself too seriously part, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who went to a party where he kind of ended up roasting everybody. Like, he got a little bit too drunk and he just roasted the shit. There was a group of people who he knew and some people he didn't know, but everybody's a friend of a friend. Everybody had, like, a degree of separation.
Yeah.
So, there was nobody in there. There's going to be a surprise that this person showed up. It's like, who the hell was that guy?
Yeah.
Well, that was, like, Tim's great uncle's neighbor's friend. This was, like, where he showed up to a party. A buddy of mine went to a party and just had a few too many and roasted everyone and thought he was being hilarious. And then had that idea reinforced to him by other friends who were there. We're like, man, last night you were on fire. You were great. And he's like, oh, God, I woke up this morning and sobered up and thought I was awful to everybody. And then, like, a couple days later, another friend called him. He's like, you were the worst human being ever.
Really?
Like, you were destroying people for no reason. He's like, I'm getting, like, mixed messages here, man. All the feedback so far has been you were hilarious. You had a little bit too much to drink. You were loud and boisterous, but for the most part, you were really funny. To where now, like, one guy called him up. It's like, you were an embarrassment. Really? You were an embarrassment to your family's name.
Oh, jeez.
You destroyed everybody for no reason. People who were telling you were on fire, they should be burned at the stake, too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God.
Oh, man.
I thought I was, like, the roller coaster of emotion. Like, I don't know if I can handle that.
No, yeah, it's hard. I think, because, that's the thing. I just don't want to